film available. They were live streaming. This is the first time we live stream a showcase. We're getting ready. That's Drew Phillips walking across the camera. He's our head QB coach. But, it exceeds the expectations of what's really going on in the marketplace right now. But that's what we need. Because I'll give you a perfect example, guys, and I'm sure you've covered this. COVID-19 is unprecedented with what it's going to do to college football recruiting, high school recruiting. So let's say those guys didn't go to our showcase in January. The guys who participate in our showcase and others like it have the most recent film of any kid being recruited in America right now.
Yep.
They have the ability to say, Coach, I was in a game several months after my season and so with these guys, we may not play football this year at the youth level. That is a real reality that we have to.
We've already seen some people make that call in our area.
They're making the call because the liability is through the roof.
Yep.
Well,
I got a mask on.
and
Me and you, Coach, we got masks on talking on these mics, and we've never, ever had to do that in the 4 years we worked together.
Transportation for middle schoolers is a nightmare, and that's we're going to add to that. Middle school and youth football, those are going to be the groups that are really going to suffer.
They're going to suffer big time, and so it's going to cause a developmental issue at the next level. And so there's an investment to come to a place like this. One of the reasons we're sitting around right now, we typically don't do that, but results are being tabulated. The future four is being determined, right? So that's what's taking place right now. So you're going to have a lot of these quarterbacks dwindle down to 4 in 24, 4 in 25, 4 in 26, and we take the top 2 in 27 as rising sixth graders because we do have that middle school All-American game, and we want to get those automatic bids in. That's important because a lot of people want to play on those platforms. And if you can get yourself an automatic bid, you don't have to try to, nominate yourself and get a spot. You've got an assured spot. You just got to register and pay for that. And so we just want the platform to keep growing and keep going. So I'll give you a perfect example of why it's important. I'm on the way here driving up from South Florida, where I'm from, driving back home to Atlanta, originally from College Park, born in the city of Atlanta. And so I'm doing that, and it's a scenario where, and I'm going to invite Drew Phillips over. I want you to announce it live before we announce it in person and let everybody know who's viewing, who the future four is. Well, I'm going to let you do that, but I'm just finishing up a story with Coach. So I'm driving here, and one of the guys that was in our game in January, Davis Mills, I get a call from West Virginia about him because he didn't join a virtual stream, a virtual visit, you know what I mean, with the university. I'm not going to say who it was because he's committed somewhere else. So then after the virtual visit, I get another call from the offensive coordinator of this Power 5 school, and he wanted to talk and basically kind of feel me out, see what kind of guy the kid was. He's been in this game. He was in this game as a freshman, and last year he was on the white team in this game from Vieira, Florida. So bottom line, when people see that Hotbed written across the chest, they call and they can get, verification. They can get reinforcements to what they see on film. What was your experience with this guy? What kind of guy do you think he is? You know what I mean? Tell me what you know about him. And that's what Football Hotbed is. There's nothing more. There's no secret to what we do. It's just a network and a network to try to get these kids to accomplish their goals and their dreams, and that's it. But like I said, with COVID-19, all the safety protocols that we've undergone, it is, a situation where we try to be very cautious. Every kid was a distributed mask. You've seen it. And so it's a scenario where, again, we don't know what's going to happen. So this could actually end up being a very good developmental tool for a lot of these kids. They may not play football again for, at least the full season, maybe January, February, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's going through the same thing right now. Every high school in America, we're watching colleges cancel everything but league play, conference play. So when people are doing things that are going to affect that much money, we know it's going to trickle down to high school and middle school sports. We're watching. New Mexico went ahead and called it.
Texas is having trouble with schedules now because
right. I think Texas and Florida both end up calling it, at least for
the Big Ten said they're going conference only. That affected Miami, where I live.
Pac-12.
Pac-12 said the same thing. Yeah.
Gosh, it's getting out of control. And so, if colleges are saying high school's in jeopardy, and I think youth football doesn't have a chance in most areas,
Well, because it doesn't typically have the backing, and that's one of the great things about this event is not many people are reaching down to that middle school level.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we started at middle school. That was where we grew to high school as the middle school kids got older. We'll be 9 years old on August the 5th. But we started at the youth level. That's why we have such a dedication to it, because it's our roots. So I'm going to bring on Drew Phillips of the Phillips QB Academy. He's always been our head football coach for quarterbacks here at Football Hotbed. He's developed into a very good friend of mine over the sum of these years we've been working together. And he's put together an amazing event once again with a lot of top flight talent.
All right,
Appreciate you guys. How you doing?
Yeah, welcome, Coach Phillips. How are you?
I'm doing well. All right, so we got a couple winners here. We're going to announce live, and then we'll make this announcement to the people here in the stands. First off, great competition. A lot of talent out here, a lot of great QBs. I see a lot of future Division I talent. We had a lot of really close scores. Kind of an unconventional year. Usually we have a couple guys that run away with it. And then a couple guys who kind of get in, but this year I felt like, we had a lot of guys who were very even, and so that makes a big difference, and that makes it a lot tougher when you're trying to decide who your champion is. But it was a good event, and so I'm excited to announce our 2027 first, which is rising sixth graders. We're only recognizing 2 guys. We usually only recognize 1, but because we had so many guys, we're going to recognize 2 this year. And our top 2 this year are Trey Williams and Trey Taylor.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. And then we got 2026. It was really close. Currently in first place is David Crawl. Second place is Maddox O'Neill. Third place is Tate Snellgrove, and fourth place is Braylon Albritton. That's our 6th grade going into 7th. 2025ers. This was the class that was very loaded. Had a lot of guys right there in the pack, had a chance to be in it. It came down to just a couple throws or a couple scores on their test. But currently sitting in first place is Wyatt Becker. Second place is Camden Hartzell. Third place is TJ Wilcox. And fourth place is Cutter Woods.
I'll take Cutter Woods. That's a great name.
I know, right? That's a quarterback name if you ever heard
Certainly
one.
Is.
I have a couple friends who name their kids Cannon. I think, that's pretty awesome. And then in 8th grade, we actually had this. This is only the second time this has ever happened in this event, and the only other time was last year. We have a 3-way tie for 3rd and 4th place. So we're going to have a throw-off here at the end to see guys who get 2 throws to see how far they can throw it, and we'll take the guys with the top 2 guys with the furthest throws. So currently sitting in first place is Gavin Hall. Second place is Jakai Long, and then our bottom 3 who will get in this throw-off here are Marcus Davila, J.J. Harding, and Joseph Tenta. So they have no idea, but we're excited to see what they can do. Got a couple guys, like I said, with Division I talent, and this will really, the 7-on-7 portion will really separate these guys.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about Phillips QB Academy?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm down in Tampa, Florida. Been there since 2012. Been doing this since 2012. It's been my full-time job since 2016. I travel all over the Southeast doing a bunch of different events. I work for a company called QB Universe. I do a Gunslinger Challenge. I do the Future 4 here with Brandon and Football Hotbed. And then I do training all over Central Florida and South Florida. I got, my Tampa's my hub, but I also get into Ocala. I get into.
Are you from Tampa?
I live in Dunedin, Clearwater Beach area, so Tampa Bay. Yeah. Tampa's like 25 minutes from where I live.
Hear you.
And I also get into the Cocoa Beach area or the greater Orlando area, so we get around a little bit. And had some good talent. One of my guys who made the Elite 11 a couple years ago, Brian Mowers at the University of Tennessee, stud. And then I've worked with a couple guys like Nick Scalzo, who's at Kentucky, and different guys like that. So I've gotten to see some good talent come through my system in the last 8 years.
What was the evaluation for today's picks?
Yeah, so we did a bunch of different categories. Yesterday we took a written test, so you see what their knowledge is, basic coverages and routes. We also did a combine, and that's kind of an average score based on how they ran the 40, the broad, the power toss, and the shuttle, the 5-10-5. We also did a one-on-one routes yesterday, so we wanted to see how their footwork was, the pro-style footwork and the spread-style footwork. And they were based on that, we judged them on their footwork, their accuracy and timing, and their spiral. And then today we did a more conventional type deal, which was throws to nets or target throws. And And that's a little tougher because those guys are stationary, but it also helps separate the guys who are really, really accurate from the guys who maybe need a little more work. So.
Well, that's awesome. That's great information. Are you planning on expanding? You know, I know you said you're in Tampa. Are you planning on expanding?
Yeah, so I do get around and do some training in other states, but there's a lot of good trainers around the country who, you know, I'd recommend it. There's several, you know, especially in Atlanta, there's just a smorgasbord of guys who do some great work out here in Atlanta. So guys like Chris Hickson and Ron Veal, some of the and Coach McCoy, some of the best QB trainers in the country are here in Atlanta. So you guys are blessed to have those guys here.
All right, well, hey, Coach, we really appreciate it, and this has been an awesome event so far. We're looking forward to the 7-on-7.
Appreciate you guys having me.
You bet.
Sure. Thanks, Coach. All right, so we're getting ready to make the announcements out on the field now.
It's got to be an exciting
he
time.
did make the announcements when he was talking, correct?
Oh, he did.
Okay, I've been bebopping, so I mean it's part of reality.
Yeah, we're doing less bebopping over here.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So they're going to do that in the center of the field, and then so what is everybody going to, if they just joined us here, kind of recap as they're announcing this, recap what we've experienced so far.
Okay, let's start with we're at Mount Pisgah here in beautiful Johns Creek, Georgia. Here for the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase, which features the Future Four and National Middle School Lineman Challenge. We've already announced all the Middle School Lineman Challenge winners, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yes.
You just heard the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade quarterbacks.
Yep.
The only unknown is we had a three-way tie for that third place spot with the oldest kids, the rising 9th graders, and those guys will have a throw-off here in a minute. And the top two guys, they get to go. And, you know, the thing is if you top four, you get an automatic bid to the National Middle School Showcase, or in some cases, the National Freshman Showcase.
I mean,
so
he said they had over 50 quarterbacks, Coach. So
50 quarterbacks, and you get what, 4, 4, 4, 2?
Yep.
So my math right, that's 14 guys.
That's 14.
14 out of 50. And when you stop and think about, you know, 16 out of 32 of these guys from the last one went Division I.
Yep. I mean, it's a pretty good selling point. I know that
those numbers are hard to argue with.
If I'm sitting there trying to go on with that, then I'm definitely going to say, yeah, that's my thing. You know, I need my son to go out here and get this training.
I liked Coach Phillips. I thought he had a lot of good things to say, and I appreciate him giving props to guys here in Atlanta.
Yes, definitely so.
Because we know that there's a reason why everybody comes to Atlanta, because the best football in the country is right here. At least that's what I would say.
I'm not going to argue with you. You know, there's
California and Texas would say different.
So
but,
would Florida.
Well, yeah. California and Texas are too big, though. It's not even a fair comparison. It's like a country.
Per capita.
Yeah, there you go. Per what you said.
Well, you know, if you look at Florida and Texas and California, and then you look at Georgia, they haven't had it yet. They're going to have a throw off.
No, I think they're announcing 6th grade because it was the two guys. Normally they only take one 6th grader, but because they had so many guys turn out,
they took 2 this year.
They took 2. Now I think they're doing the 7th graders.
I mean, I could have never imagined what this would have been like to do this.
Okay, I don't know why. It's 10 guys. 10 guys. I'm not thinking correctly.
What are you talking about?
Well, because it's 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders. So, you know what I'm saying?
But I think they had 24, 25, 26, and 27, Coach.
Okay, I can't count that high, so you're going to have to help me on that one. I'm easily confused, so.
Well, I've always been easily confused. So.
This is an exciting moment for these kids who are getting acknowledged right here. And, of course, along with this comes the knowledge that you got an automatic bid.
So I think you were right, Coach. I think it is 14.
Okay. Well, I've been right once before, so.
Don't sell yourself short, Coach. I know 2 times you were right.
Oh, man.
That's going to be interesting. I want to see this throw off.
Hey, did you notice the Future 4 shorts?
I
really like the logo.
I'm kind of digging all of the stuff that they've got on out here. I like the Coach's Wilson hat. That was kind of good stuff right there.
The big dubs.
Yeah.
Well, people might think you're a George Bush fan. W.
Hey,
we're not getting into any of that stuff.
A player watching this online right now, how do they? What is the proper steps to go through?
Well, you're going to go to footballhotbed.com.
And then you're going to register on the, for the football
showcase.
Then you're going to, give them access, fill out all the information, give them access to your film where they'll look at your film. And then, if you're selected through that film, then you get to come and take part in this. Am I wrong, Coach?
That sounds accurate, sir.
Thank you. First time I was accurate in about 3 weeks.
I thought for the longest time I was a left-handed option quarterback. But then I ended up being an offensive tackle. So
I've been trying to tell myself for my whole life I was a left-handed pitcher, but that didn't work out. So it looks like we're going to have ourselves a throw-off here pretty soon.
I think so.
Yeah, so a 3-way tie, man, for 3rd and 4th place. It's crazy. So they're going to do a longest toss.
Yep.
Only one guy gets in. And I was telling them, like, look, this is what football is all about. It comes down to a throw. You know what I mean? And this is why I like this platform, man. It's real life. We could have easily said, oh, one guy did this, one guy did that. But this is how Rattler won it a couple years ago, because he tied with Griffin Helm in the first ever. But we did a longest ball toss at lunch at the break just in case we needed a tiebreaker. And so there's precedent for this. And so at the end of the day, people like the guy with the biggest arm.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out. Yeah, but this is crazy, man. It's a nice little twist. So the rest of these QBs will be dismissed. They had a great great day, but I'm going to go dismiss them. I just want to let you guys know. You already knew. But I just wanted –
Coach Phillips is giving us the lowdown. We appreciate it.
But it's real now that you've seen it play out.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of strange,
Make them throw into the wind. That's mean.
That's some harsh stuff right there.
Make them throw into the wind. All right, so if I remember to put my mic down, this would be so nerve-wracking.
Miggity, Mike.
This would be so nerve-wracking to me because there's, to me, throwing the ball like this would be just, it's a lot of it's about technique, and you're going to see guys try to,
launch it from their toes.
You are, and a lot of times that works against you. The guy that uses the best form normally can throw the ball the farthest. Now, there are obviously, if you look at it, Dan Marino.
Well, that's a pretty good toss right there, buddy.
Okay.
That was like right at 56 yards.
56. What did they give him? Right at 57. Golly, man. I'm ashamed. I could throw it twice and get it that far right now.
That's going to fall at about 45.
Yep. All right, so it all comes
got our final contestant. Can he beat that 45?
Come down to this throw here. This would be the worst person. This would be the worst place to be at.
Oh, I mean,
46.
It looks like he got him by about a yard. Man, that's tough. That's tough, but that's what competition is.
Yep. So I think would they keep the last two?
Correct. The 2 longest throws. And I can't tell if they're going to give him more than one throw. Looks like maybe that's what they're doing.
And one throw to throw, and then.
Okay, I see. The two guys that are still in it need to throw.
Oh, now they got to throw
for third and fourth place.
Okay.
And I think we're going to have an easy winner.
Well, I mean,
I think the tall kid. The tall kid is the guy that throws the ball.
What number is the? Can you see that, Coach?
I think 41.
What number we got? 41.
Because this kid right here was the 46 kid getting ready to throw right now. He was 46. That was at 45. And then I bet you this kid throws it 52, 53 yards.
What number? Did you see what number he was at? What number his shirt said?
The kid that's getting ready to throw?
Yeah.
41, I think.
No, they didn't. I was looking for it online. They don't have it.
Right. It's like they're evaluating everything. Here he comes. And 52 yards. I mean, what'd I say?
Yeah,
52, 53.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Bingo. That kid can chunk the ball.
Yes, sir, Coach. I mean,
no. The first one was to determine who was out, and then that was to determine third and fourth.
I guess.
Unless they're going to let them throw more than one time for third and fourth. No, they're just picking up footballs.
There we go. So now we should be getting ready, Coach, now that we got all that stuff
settled
out. That's all settled now, so it should be 7-on-7 time.
7 on 7.
It was 7.
But it's been really nice so far today here at the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase. We just watched the final portion of the rising ninth graders finish the Future Four in a throw-off.
Yes, sir.
And as we were told before, that's how Spencer Rattler won when this first started. He won that first year in a throw-off. They did a throw-off at lunch is what Mr. O'Doy said. So he actually pointed to there was precedence, which I appreciate. I appreciate that, not having to do something new, Because
you wouldn't say that being a government teacher, would you?
Well, I do appreciate that. I always look for precedents. Oh yeah. You see the guys, the guys that are in the Future Four all rocking those black jerseys.
I mean,
it's got to be an exciting moment for them and their parents.
I would think so. Now, I mean, there's still 14 quarterbacks, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to the days. I hope that my boys want to play football. I'm one of those oddities. I'm an old man with small children. Because I have a young, beautiful wife. That's what did it. But I have boys that are 6 and 7, and they've been begging me to play football. And stuff like this makes me really want to go ahead and start letting them do stuff.
These are things I enjoy watching because you get to see just, competition and it's not a lot of, there's not going to be a lot of scheme stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of winning on individual talent. So it's going to show you, skill level of a player. That doesn't always, mean all that, that this person is a can't miss product, but, you get a pretty good idea of looking at somebody where they're going, one-on-one talent, and then when you get that and you get a chance to put it together and work it into a scheme, that's when things like that become special.
No doubt, my friend. Oh. Well, that one came out funny right there. Just watching some kids throw the ball from the end zone. I think my favorite is the black. I like the black jersey.
I do too.
But it's been a great day, man.
It has, Coach.
You know, and it's been surprisingly, we've gotten a good breeze most of the day. When it hasn't tried to cause the tent to take off, it's been good.
I can handle tying down the tent just so we don't have to sit out here and it be at 95 degrees, 100% humidity, and no breeze. Those are brutal days.
You know, somebody should have packed the sandbags. I'm not going to call names, but
I thought you were going to say somebody should have packed a sandwich.
Well, that too.
I'm not going to lie to you.
But I'm going to say the guy should have packed him. It rhymes with Bo McMichael.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Well, that's typically our thing where somebody says, "What did y'all say?" And you all say, "It wasn't a y'all."
Tell him you said that.
I usually say the most dumb stuff. That's my thing. But it's been an outstanding event. We'd like to take a chance to thank the Phillips QB Academy and Coach Drew Phillips, as well as the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter, where the quarterback started this journey. Thank you again to Mount Pisgah for opening the doors in these tumultuous times for us to have some football action and let these young men compete. Because, I think this is one of those days that a lot of these kids will really remember.
I agree.
And Mr. O'Doy pointed to the fact that, because of the current COVID-19 situation, recruiting has become very precarious.
I saw a thing last night on Twitter when we got in, before we got everything ready to come out here for this morning. But I saw a thing last night when it said, it was talking to high school football players, and it was talking about if you have a committable offer, why are you playing around with it? Because you don't know what the future holds.
I agree and disagree, which is odd. I agree in the sense that I do think that you have to be very careful as a young man, in these times, because, you could potentially end up, in a funky situation.
Yep.
I've even gone as far as to say, what happens if you start having schools fold? And now those athletes who are already ready to play are allowed to transfer by the NCAA to other schools. What does that do to the pool of guys trying to come out of high school? Because, honestly, if I'm looking at picking up a guy that I'm going to be able to make into something versus a guy who can play right now, that becomes a very different situation for me. It's kind of the same. It would almost be like JUCO, where, we watch schools, and I like to think most places just try to fill needs with JUCOs, not necessarily build their team that way. Not that there's anything wrong with JUCO. We've had some really good kids go to JUCO and go on to play big-time ball. However, the flip side of that is I don't like kids committing because they're afraid.
Yeah.
I don't. And I've told kids that before. Don't commit out of fear. Commit because that's where you want to be. Because you feel comfortable with the coaching staff. Because your parents are happy. Because it's close enough. Because it meets your criteria. Whether it be distance or, whatever, campus life. I don't know. I don't know what kids think about. I didn't think about any of that when I was going to college, so I don't know.
I can remember getting ready to go to school, and my mom said, what are you going to study? Because we had discussed this, and I already knew everything and had already researched it. And my sister went to school. She went to school to be I got my education degree in history, and she was going to go and do the same thing, not in history, but she wanted to be early childhood, and then she changed it. She became exercise science. And I think Corey was business, but you got to figure out, is the school that's recruiting you or the schools that are recruiting you, are you looking at them for football, or are you looking at them for the important reason of they have what you want to study? Because if you watch that commercial, most everybody else is going pro in something other than sports.
Yeah, I made my choice based solely upon the fact that I was going to get to wrestle. I didn't think about what programs they had, or I didn't think about any of that. They were like, okay, you can come here and wrestle. And I was like, deal.
Yep.
And that was short-lived because, you know, like many 19-year-olds, I wasn't very smart.
Coach, you were very smart.
Well, I wasn't very wise. How about that?
There you go.
You know?
Who are you who are so wise in the ways of science?
I will say that was definitely a drawback on me, and something that you know, young people at home definitely need to think about is how important being coachable is, because I don't think I was a very coachable kid. I think that was one of my big problems. I oftentimes thought that I was smarter than the people trying to teach me things, and that's an issue. And, you know, I think kids out here, you know, the beauty of things like this is what you want to see is these kids excel and really start to see these offers bloom, but stay humble and understand there's still a lot left to learn. So, all right. The battery was screaming.
But
I'm going to keep talking because that's what we do. So, Coach Chapman.
Yes.
When do you get something like this on the south side of town?
I've been waiting for you to set it up, man.
Well, you know, we finally have a facility, you know, where we could perform.
I will be more than happy to go and paint the field.
Well, I appreciate that. Although these guys have had to get used to it because we play on grass.
Yeah, that's that
which is the surface I prefer until it rains.
I can say this much: I was dead. I was set against it. Completely set against Clayton County going to turf. And the first game that we played on it, just so happened that we came back from halftime, and you know that plastic grass was just as slick as it could be. And I was thinking, man,
The dew set in.
I was thinking, man, this is going to be bad. And some, you know, we had a kid that got hurt. You know, not on our team, but the team we were playing against had a kid that got hurt when he tried to plant that first night. And after that, I don't think I saw a single kid get hurt in any of that time frame with on that turf. And you know, it's taken over, and now they've gotten it to where you can change the way the rubber pellets are put into the turf. You can get double rubber pellets so that you don't have to put the sand in there, so that you can try to limit the amount of concussions and things like that.
It gives the field almost a spongy feel. You know,
Yeah.
It's funny that Coach Phillips was talking about it, but one of the schools I know in particular that's like that is Denmark High School.
Absolutely.
Just because we've been there, and that field is super spongy.
It is. It's almost like playing on a spring. So, you know, we've been there, had the was very fortunate enough to get to play in that great facility. But you know, you're seeing a lot of schools that are doing that now for the health reasons. But you know, for me, I like grass because I like to cut grass. You know what I'm saying, Coach?
I hear you.
I'd much rather have get to be on a fairway mower and go cut the field and put interesting designs in it and do all that stuff. But you know, when we're looking at it the way we're looking at it right now, you know, the money that you save in turf.
Oh yeah, there's no question. When you look at it over 10 years, it's a no-brainer. But it's just it's such a large upfront cost. You know, because you figure, you know, what you spend cutting a field, you know, like we're not even like a big school, and you know, you cut the complex, that's expensive.
Well, we aren't a big school, but we do have a very large athletic complex. You know, we have, you know, for the most part, we have basically the equivalent of 3 practice fields behind our stadium. You know, and it serves as a soccer complex as well. But
I won't lie that I would swap with Mount Pisgah.
Ha!
Just because, what do we have? 3 fields here, and then a baseball field.
Yeah, I saw the baseball field.
So you have, and I think what was this field back behind us where the quarterbacks were this morning? That's soccer. It's just an auxiliary field.
Wow.
And then you had a field down below. What was that? How was that set up, Bo? Okay.
I think it's the same thing. I think
another auxiliary
I
field.
think they've just got some places where give yourself some green space so that you can have enough places. So if you do have, you had a baseball field right here, and now they've got soccer, and it looks like they have, was it field hockey or lacrosse or all of these things. So there might be some limited for everybody playing on this because it's all lined off for every sport, but you'd have to find places to practice.
Yeah, the auxiliary field is probably coming really handy for that. The only thing that I would worry about, like here, just looking around, is I bet you this place is jam-packed because I was looking at the parking. Pisgah is single A, but which means there's fewer numbers in the school. I'm not sure what the cutoff for single A is right now.
I don't know, Coach.
I'm guessing somewhere around 4 or 5.
Looks like we're about to get some routes going right here, though.
Okay, a little 7-on-7 action. Waiting on defense to get lined up. You guys better hurry because offense doesn't typically wait on you. At least that's the rumor.
Don't be talking smack about that stuff.
You got 7. Okay, he was hiding. They had 8.
Hi. Shallow cross.
Put it on him. Got to expect that guy to run that ball down. Maybe the defense thought they run a 3-3.
So it looks like, if I understood what I was just told, that the rising 6th grade quarterbacks don't get to throw in the 7-on-7, Coach.
Okay.
But they will be invited to the game.
Awesome. Well, this becomes a thing. If you're a skill guy, you've got to be going, hey, I need a quarterback that's gonna give me something I can work with. And as because at this point, the quarterback, you're in. So the skill guys are like, hey, you got to give me something to work with here.
Hey, show me what you're working with. So, and one of the things is that one of the
fifth grade finalists talk about those. That's what he's videotaping right now. See the bottom left?
yeah.
Fifth grade finalists for quarterbacks.
Right, the rising 6th grade finalist right there. You're catching in the bottom left.
Yep.
We saw those guys earlier. I know that's got to be exciting.
And they get that opportunity, Coach. They're in, like you just said. They're in. They're going to get to go to the showcase and play, and they're going to get a chance to be on the books. So now everybody's going to have an early indicator that they have a chance to be, an impact player, later on in their development throughout middle school and high school.
And I always thought it was cool, if I knew who a middle school kid was, and then to watch them, blossom into something, amazing. I watch that with 9th graders all the time where we have freshmen, and, you think, well, maybe, and then you watch that guy turn into something that you might not ever thought he could be.
I remember we had a kid one time, and he came in and he was going to play tailback for us. And as a 9th grader, he came in, he was a great player in middle school, but as a 9th grader, man, he was slow. And it took him 2 years, and by the end of his 3rd year, he wasn't slow anymore. And he had gotten himself into a point where he ended up being a Division I signee. He played wide receiver at University of South Carolina. And I mean, he went from being a guy that we were like, we don't know where to play him, to being a guy where we're like, hey, we got to play. We got to get him to football.
All right, got that nice drone view.
Yeah, this is one of the coolest. You can see everything happen at the jump right here.
See Coach Phillips right there, giving direction. Him being the head quarterbacks coach here, as well as the director of Phillips QB Academy.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah,
I know I should listen.
That was tough. Also like to think of Atlanta Marriott perimeter.
Got a little empty action here, Coach.
Better get the ball out. There's a snap.
Nice ball.
Oh, why didn't he lead him right there? What happened right there, Coach Chapman?
I mean, I still think a lot of this has to do with this is the first time running routes, so you're kind of throwing the ball when you think you should get it out of your hand. And you may not be on the same page as your receiver.
But again, that's the disadvantage of not playing with these guys.
Yep.
You know, you're having to walk out here and build that chemistry quickly.
Back in empty. A nice move.
Yeah. That was going to go for a little bit.
Yes, it was. Nice catch and get back inside, man. He made sure that he got that. He get away with that. They gonna let him move the ball right here, Coach? Trying to score?
Well, to me, that always adds another element of competition.
I'm all in favor of that now.
You know, moving the ball down the field.
I'm all in favor of trying to put the ball in the end zone.
Oh, nice recovery. Nice recovery. The receiver standing in the left corner of the end zone's like, I am by myself.
All by myself.
No doubt, my friend. Where's my guy? Where's number 13? See a skin?
I don't know. I've been kind of looking to see if they've rotated through.
I bet you that's him right here in the orange cleats. Oh! Nicely done.
Jumped that route. That's a nice play by the safety, reading the eyes of the quarterback. And then going through and throwing that inside breaking route a lot today. We talked about how the dig is a very hard route to cover when you have, one-on-ones. But, when you start adding the rest of the team out there, if there's somebody looking in and watching.
If there's not somebody threatening the middle of the field, that could be bad news.
That should be a touchdown.
Yeah,
right there.
I'm not sure what happened right there.
They ran a post from there, and they wheel routed the running back.
Well, that's some miscommunication.
And the linebacker didn't play man over there. He was dropping in a zone drop.
That's a tall order, though, the back wheeling out of the backfield for the linebacker. That's tough, man.
I tend to not talk about backs wheeling out of the backfield. It's a sore subject with me.
That whole Kamara still sticking.
Yeah. All right, we're going to change it up right here a little bit, Coach.
Okay, again, if you're just joining us here for the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase, we've already watched the winners of the National Middle School Lineman Challenge as well as the Future 4 competition.
It's a pretty exciting day, wouldn't you say, Coach?
I would. You can identify these Future 4 guys. They have on black jerseys. And there was 4 8th graders, 4 7th graders, 2 6th graders. And that's it, correct?
It was 8th, 7th, 6th. So there ended up being, I think, 14 because there were 4 categories. You had the upcoming 6th graders, the upcoming 7th graders, upcoming 8th graders, and the upcoming 9th graders. So they were realistically.
So there was 14 guys.
Yeah. So you had class of 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. And every time I hear that, I'm sitting there thinking, man,
that's so long from now.
I'm old. I was like, I keep looking every time somebody asks me to fill something out, and I keep putting 75 on it. I'm like, man. I don't get younger.
It's like when you hear people talk about when they were born, like born in 2000, like what?
Really nice ball right there. That was a really nice throw. Right over the linebacker's head. No, that's the thing about this. You know, how much are they getting to practice, or you know, how much have they done this? You know, in these 2 days, how much 7-on-7 have they thrown? Have they thrown any 7-on-7? And now they're moving it up and down the field and trying to score points right here. Here's our drone view. Nice job by the linebacker sitting and waiting on that crossing route to come. Passing it all from one zone to the next.
I think the post would have been there, but it would have been late.
And you don't want to be late in the middle of the field.
No, sir.
Unless you want to hear me start yelling about it.
That's a recipe for disaster.
It is, it is, it is. Be interested to see if they try to mesh this right here. Running the mesh is a great concept. It's hard to read that if you've never done it before. So we got empty. Right there.
Yeah, I mean, threw it too late.
He was open on the break.
That's a shame because he gets it to him early. That's a touchdown.
Yes, it is.
But I bet you this is hard, again, with guys you don't know and then deciding to, you know, try to throw something on time.
I mean, timing routes aren't hard enough when you practice every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough altogether.
All right, looks like we may be getting closer to a little man underneath look right here.
There he is. Yeah, if I'm a defensive coach, I'm going, sack.
Yeah, I'm yelling about it.
Sack.
You don't get to hold on to the ball all day.
Sack.
We have a defensive front. If I'm a quarterback, I'm saying they're not here.
Because it really is one of those things, you know, where you want your quarterback when they're participating in 7-on-7 events, you want them thinking 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, get it out. I mean, that needs to be the last time you're holding on to the ball.
And we try to run the exact same stuff. You know, we'll experiment with routes and stuff in 7-on-7 because that's what you do. You learn some stuff about it, things like that. But we're going to try to run our offenses to increase the timing and the working together. Now, I'd be trying to attack the middle of the field right here. Nice job coming underneath. Good job of squeezing it back in there.
Yeah, we see people all the time, though, they'll stop and play their linebackers at 8 yards. And you're like, come on, man, you wouldn't really do that in a game. If you did that, we'd run a trap.
And I've seen the passing league offense. Where
I just don't understand, if you're not preparing, then what are you doing?
A lot of people would have said that years ago. And then, I've got two different viewpoints on that. I think the best thing that you can do with your football team in the summer is compete. Learn how to compete, especially competing against people that in most cases are going to be better than you or, or bigger than you. When we talk about bigger, we mean number of students in the school. But, if you're competing and learning how to compete and learning how to win and learning how to play the game against, maybe some stacked odds. It helps to do it when you're going to do what you're doing and you're in the game. So, if you're just making up stuff going along the way right there, I'm not sure what kind of reward you're getting out of it outside of conditioning.
Right.
Because you're going to definitely be conditioned. We got doubles right here, Coach.
Yes.
We're going to be in doubles. Ooh.
That was pretty good coverage.
Yeesh. He definitely tried to fit that into the smallest window on the field.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. You know, that's one of the things. You know, I think about, you know, probably two of the places that is hardest mentally to play, I would think would be quarterback and DB. Because if you make a mistake, man, everybody knows about it.
In a hurry.
You know, because my thing is, but you know, if I say that, but you know, you can stand back there and hold the ball for half an hour, and if you get sacked, everybody yells the offensive line.
Yeah, somebody's got a block.
Those are one of my favorite peanut galleries. Ball kind of floated on him.
Yep.
Still able to complete it. It is kind of windy.
Definitely windy.
Not McDonald's, windy.
Stop it. We could take it. It would be nice if it was frosty.
It would be.
But it is not. We'll stop with the fast food puns now.
But for those of you just joined us here at the the Football Hotbed National Middle School. Sorry, that was one of the squirrels moments. Showcase. I'd like to take a chance to thank Phillips QB Academy and Atlanta Marriott Perimeter. But today's Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase featured the Future Four that we've already seen decided.
Yes,
You'll see those young men wearing black jerseys, as well as the Middle School Lineman Challenge. You won't see those gentlemen at all because they went home. Because big guys know when to get out of the heat.
That is true.
But they were some impressive kids. I mean, some imposing kids.
One that says already had college contacts.
Yeah, I mean,
come on now.
7th grade.
Yeah, that was the thing. It wasn't like he was in, a rising 9th grade. It was just 7th grade.
Don't think he was expecting the ball.
I don't believe so. Did not look like he was expecting.
Word to the wise for the kids at home, always be ready for the ball.
Exactly.
Come out of your break with your head whipped around.
And if you're playing wide receiver and you're not ready for the football, then you might get to play guard.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, oftentimes the offensive line is the last stop. I know I coached running backs for a year, and at a much larger school than we're at now. And I know the receivers coach sent a kid that couldn't catch to me, and I was like, oh, I was like, you go down there with a lineman, buddy. He was like, what, coach? I was like, yeah, man. I don't know what he's thinking, but it goes running back, receiver, offensive line, not receiver, running back, offensive line.
All right. Corner of the end zone.
Oh, I think that ball kind of slipped out on him.
I think he wanted to go into the inside breaking route, and then he realized at that time that if I throw this route, it may not be a good thing for all parties involved.
I think it came out funky, and then the wind gust right then, and it kind of held the ball up.
I know one thing, buddy.
That's
I'm
tough.
sitting here looking at this turf, and there's a shimmering.
Yeah, you're starting to see the waves come up.
The waves are coming up, and my feet. I'm not even on the turf. I can just feel the heat through my shoes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some flip-flops. Bees. Your firearms are useless against them.
Anyway.
All right, looks like they're going to take a quick break. Either that or just rotate another group in, looks like maybe.
There's some tired dudes out there right now.
Yeah, it's hot. You know, we have the privilege of sitting underneath the tent.
They've been here all day, Coach.
And they've been going since they got here because they did a combine before they came and did all this.
Did.
And then they came out here and threw routes on air.
Yep.
One-on-ones. And now 7-on-7.
Yeah, they have definitely not taken any true break. You know, this hadn't been we're going to sit here and rest and watch the clouds go by because there are no clouds. It's just crystal blue sky. The good thing about it is right now is that it's only 900 degrees.
Yeah.
I heard next week it will be 1,000.
1,000 degrees, you say?
I heard that. About the time you go for a boat trip or something.
Well, at least we'll be close to the water.
Yep.
And the kids are going to enjoy that slide attached to the boat. I think that's going to be pretty neat.
That's awesome. But just remember, if the weather starts getting rough and the tiny ship is tossed.
Yeah, well, I'm getting off of it because I'm not getting stuck somewhere.
All right. Ball comes out early to the
Good
back.
job. Good job. I mean, you know, he didn't look downfield. He threw to the open guy. I love that. I love that. Get the ball out of your hand. Let's get 5 or 6 yards. Let's get it to an athlete in space and let them do what they do. Let them be an athlete.
So,
I love that.
And, and that's, realistically, it might be the first time that we've seen someone throw the ball on the check down early.
Well, because I'll tell you, as a coach, after I get a 3 in my head, I'm like, get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball.
I'm like that when the ball is snapped.
Yeah, I want the ball out.
Because I've watched the pre-snap stuff, and I know where the ball should go. And if I know where the ball should go, then he should know where the ball should go. He's going deep. Ooh,
oh, nicely done. Nicely done. I mean, that was on the money.
He dropped that right in the bucket. Did he catch that?
Yes, sir, he did.
That was 2 plays and 6 points right there. Now, that's impressive.
But, I like this idea of getting the ball out of your hand and just, when we watch great quarterbacks take what the defense gives them.
Always.
Mr. O'Doy was talking today about how much more athletic the quarterbacks have to be now in high school and college, simply because, like we talked about, Trevor Lawrence, who's from here in Georgia, and that run he had against Ohio State, that was the difference in them winning and losing that game.
Yep. Uh-oh. Ooh. Well, you can see that when the slant came in, you could see the corner sit. And when the corner sat, I was like, don't throw that.
Yeah.
Don't do it. He's telling him right now.
That's one of my all-time favorite conversations on the sideline. Defensive coordinator walks up to me and says, what you got called? I said, we're just going to throw the slant. And he says, then the defense shifted. And he said, you think Luke Sig's an outside linebacker? And about that time, he stuck it in his chest, and I was like, nope. But, the trials and tribulations of playing a freshman quarterback,
Well, at least you weren't up by 1 point when you called that play like I was when I said, hey, we're going to throw the slant and the wheel right, or slant and the flare.
Oh, good job working across the field right there.
Did you see him scan the field? Look, he starts left, gets a little pump fake, looking for that wheel route, realizes it's not there, comes right back to the middle of the field, puts it right on the money.
Great job getting his hands out there and catching the ball.
6 points right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Made it look easy.
Yeah, I can tell you, playing that position is not easy. Not at all. So we're back at the 40 right now.
So they're going to empty.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely want him the furthest inside. Okay, no.
Tried to throw the corner out right there.
Yeah.
Looked like the receiver.
I think should have gone across the middle on that one.
Yeah, we got to, we're getting the benefit of watching it from,
Oh,
up
yeah,
above.
yeah. I'm not pretending that I'm not an armchair quarterback right here. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I definitely am because,
But, that's one of the benefits of being a coach is you oftentimes have a different vantage point than the player, and that's one of the things we would have discussed. We would have talked about, hey, you need to be thinking, don't just think outside. The middle was open right there.
Yeah, and, if you're looking at it, from the jump right here, if you look at this alignment on defense, where's the softest spot in the defense?
Right, you're making a pre-snap read.
Yep, that's all that stuff goes in with the mental aspects of playing quarterback. I can't even begin to think what it would be like to not have gone through any football practice or anything like that, and all of a sudden be out here running around all day.
The linebackers are too deep. Pick right there,
yes,
though.
It was.
He's in great position.
Yep.
He should have been up a little closer to the ball. Although I guess when they go to empty, there's not as big a threat for the – unless you're playing against a running quarterback, in which case that could be bad news.
Especially if you get quarterback 6'4", 250 pounds, and we run quarterback zone out of that. So
yeah, that'll do it.
It's not a fun thing for a linebacker to be sitting in the box dealing with. All right, here we go. Back at the 40 this time. Doubles. Maybe. Empty. Somehow I don't think they followed the in-breaking route, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's a great example. You know, that's about a 6-yard route.
Yeah, and you gain 20 some odd, 21 yards right there. Oh, my bad. 25 yards right there. So
I'll take that on first down.
Of course.
Because it's 1st and 10. I get 25. That's going to work out for me.
I will take the 25-yard gain on first down any day of the week.
Twice on Sunday.
We don't get to play on Sunday, Coach.
That's true.
All right, so they said he touched him at the 20. So it was 20 yards, Coach. Still going to take it. All right. Here we go.
Everybody rolled up a little tighter right here. Oh, nice break.
Yes, it was.
Good job by the safety right there. Seeing it happen.
I actually think that's the mic, Coach.
It came up like that?
Yep, because the safety, they're sitting back there was 2 high safeties, and they rolled one down.
Okay.
To the
My bad.
To the 3 receiver side.
The Heat. I'm going to blame the Heat.
Miami Heat?
Okay, that's the problem is he's 10 yards deep.
He's only 6 now, 7. Running back.
Yeah, I don't care where you're from. Linebackers don't play at 7 or 8 yards.
See, this is, that right there, they got that safety.
I mean, he's trying to rob the middle. I understand what he's doing.
Safety sitting over the top right there had a chance to make that pick.
But I need my mic down in the box for when teams run the ball.
I need a box with an exercise bike in it, which is, I thought you said you need your bike in a box.
I'd like a box with some chicken in it. Going outside, lots of traffic.
It's almost like that route's not right. But, in this scenario, this setting, you never know what may be happening.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know who did what. Somebody ran the wrong route. There's 2 guys out there. Which one of them zigged when they should have zagged?
Yep.
It's hard to tell because it's hard to put guys together and just have them play. This is you have to build that. I've often wondered if the kids go to those big time, like the Elite 11 combines and stuff like that, if they try to get together beforehand and like, hey, let's throw.
I would.
Yeah. Try to build some chemistry. Get to know each other a little bit. Again, for those of you just joining us here at the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase, featuring the Future 4 and National Middle School Lineman Challenge. All those have been decided. The linemen have already departed because, like I said, big guys know when to get out of the heat. But you'll see the Future 4 players, they're in the black jerseys. And they've all received an automatic bid to the National Middle School Showcase or the National Freshman Showcase, respectively.
It looks like we may have a little bit, maybe a little older right here, Coach.
Some of the bigger kids.
Cello cross.
Good job, and now you got the linebacker in chase mode. That's what you want. You know, I'll put one of my slot guys up against the Mike linebacker, you know, every time. There he goes.
Mm-hmm. Nice job of putting the ball in front of him so he doesn't have to slow down.
Right. You want to let him run.
Is that number 13 you were looking for, Coach?
Yeah, great job there by the film crew, giving us that instant replay action.
I agree.
That is top-notch stuff. We're talking about Emmy Award winning right there. Yeah, that's definitely worthy of a Dundee. There's no question about that. I look forward to the end of the year work awards. That's going to be good. That awards dinner is one of those things I look forward to. There's a snap. Good job. Nice long throw.
I mean, this is right. I mean, if you look at it, they're clearing out this area. You got you know, an in-breaking route, then you bring that dig in behind it.
But he threw in the window. That was great.
Perfect. Ball gets out. Anticipation of the throw, understanding the concept, all things that go along with being a successful quarterback.
Oh, I thought he called that.
He was a little late with it.
Yeah.
He was open so fast.
But there's such that tendency to hold it.
Yes.
And I see this, the younger the quarterback, the more tendency I see to hold it. You know, and, you know, guys want that guy to be backyard open.
I agree.
And good football doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, Coach, I know people probably get tired of hearing us talk about it, but, you know, we spend a lot of time with our quarterbacks and our receivers understanding leverage and things like that. And the whole, if he's even, he's leaving. You know, you don't have to wait till he's open to throw the ball. Throw the ball to create space, especially on a vertical route. If you're going to throw the vertical route, which we like to do, throw the ball and help the receiver create space.
It's a little high and outside right there.
That was a really nice job by the defense right there of not really having anywhere to go with the football. Did a good job of coverage right there. That wasn't necessarily an easy route to cover. A really nice job of covering and forcing the quarterback into a throw he probably would have liked to have gone somewhere else with.
Tell you what, man, these kids are holding up well, you know, and it's, you know, my hat's off to them for being in good shape.
I agree.
Because with all the stuff that's going on, you know, where workouts have been limited, practice has been limited, these guys have been going at it all day long.
Yeah. And they've been out on this field for 2 hours right now.
Actually, almost 3. Because they got out here at noon.
That is true. So
where are we sitting?
Didn't you hear me say that?
I did. Because it's 2:26 right now.
It is, Coach. I mean,
while I'm thinking about it, I'll take a chance to thank Drew Phillips, the head of Phillips QB Academy, and Laren and Marriott Perimeter. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here at the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase, featuring the Future 4 and National Middle School Lineman Challenge. Thank you to Mount Pisgah for opening the doors to us and letting us in. And I'd like to thank the grounds crew for helping us get all our equipment over here.
Yeah,
that was
definitely
huge. That was huge help.
And if you'd like to follow this group on Twitter, you can go to @FutureQB for a follow right there, and they'll give you all the breakdown of what took place at the Future 4 camp this week. Also, you can go to Football Hotbed or @FootballHotbed, #HotbedWorld, and get all your information about Football Hotbed and the great job that they're doing, you know, getting kids' names out, you know, introducing them to the recruiting process, you know, all the things that you know, they bring to light some of the things that people may not know or understand completely about the recruiting aspect of high school football.
Coach Chapman,
yes.
If I had a child that I wanted to get involved in this, how would I go about it?
Well, you would go to footballhotbed.com, and then you would go and you would find the, you know, click on the Football Hotbed Showcase. Then you would nominate your student athlete, and you would upload their film from whatever platform you have and fill out their information, and then you would, you know, you turn that in and wait for a possible invitation to the showcase.
So the coaches will have a chance to evaluate their film and really see where the potential is.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
If I was looking for information on Football Hotbed, is there somewhere I could go other than footballhotbed.com?
Go to Twitter at Football Hotbed, and you know, I'm sure that they have Facebook accounts, and you know, for me, everybody now is if you're on recruiting or if you're on looking at it, you know, everybody's doing that stuff on Twitter.
Yeah. Insta tweet.
Snap
face.
My chat. Old Bill Belichick. Insta tweet. That's still one of the best ones.
All right. Empty look. Actually, it's an empty look with 5 receivers. They decided to nix that.
Was just we're gonna.
That's some Bethlehem Christian stuff.
Easy.
No, it's a different Bethlehem. It was an older Bethlehem.
Is that the?
This was Bethlehem Christian School, not Bethlehem Christian Academy.
They had 6 eligible receivers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I argued with the guy, and he was like, "Coach, this is my offense." And I was like, "Dude, you can't have that many people go downfield."
Yeah, you know.
And then they dropped 8, and I was like, "You can't do that." He said, "Coach, we play a stack." And I was like, "Okay, man."
And it is true, you have the ability to drop 8 in a stack, but not in a 7-on-7.
Yeah, that's what I was like, 7-on-7.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
How are you doing?
Well, hey, if I could be twins, I would be too excited. All right. So talk to us about the history of Football Hotbed. Talk about.
I'm going to yield to Coach Chapman, who has an outstanding memory.
I mean, he's an elephant. There's no doubt in my mind.
Thanks.
So I want to hand that over to y'all and kind of give a little bit of history, especially since we're watching these quarterback and skill positions right now.
All right.
Go ahead, Coach Chapman.
Yeah, I got you. I'm right here. So Football Hotbed has started as a middle school showcase. I think he said
there'll be 9 in August.
9 in August, correct. And they originally started out with their first class, had 32 QBs in their first class, and 16 of those signed Division I scholarships.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, think about it. There's been a guy from this competition every year that
at least one
that has competed in the Elite 11, and you know, guys like Rattler, Mara, McCarthy, and he's partnered with Future 4, and the Future 4 deals with, you know, quarterbacks from rising 6th graders to rising 9th graders, and you know, as we've seen today, they've brought in, you know, you had 2 rising 6th graders, which is normally they only have 1, but they had 2 this year. And then there was 4 7th graders, 4 8th graders, 4 9th graders. All right, so, you know, you look at all this stuff, it's a great way for your student athlete to get their name out there in the football world, so to speak, early. And we look at the same thing. They've added, the lineman challenge to it, coach, and then they added skill position to it. And we talked a little bit about it earlier on with guys like Rashad Torrance of the University of Florida and Chris Tyree of Notre Dame. But like we said, you go to Football Hotbed, all right, you go to the football showcases on the website, you nominate yourself, and you get a chance to be a part of this, by sharing your film and then hopefully getting your film back. And, the Football Hotbed does a great job of promoting the athletes that come to their showcases to colleges around the country. Is that good enough for you, Coach?
That was outstanding. Coach Chapman, the only thing I'm missing now is somebody from Talent Services to give me a water. Pretty sure I worded that in my contract. Frosty beverage. Nice, cool, clear water.
When he throws this at you, I want to see.
And there it is, man. That's what I'm talking about. Service with a smile.
Agile service with a smile.
Agile service with a smile.
Running back.
Wide open. Somebody stopped when they shouldn't have stopped.
That's the hard thing about playing right there. You see the running back come out right here. They're going to run
right here, but it looked like a defender's. Yeah. Uh-oh.
and then the running back juked out the 10-yard line because he was expecting somebody to be there. That's just the way it is. Catch it and run, big guy. Catch it and run.
He started looking to move.
Yeah, somebody was playing chase and
I don't think 13 was my guy. I think I got the number wrong because I think the kid we were looking at is the kid in the orange cleats because he's built a little bit differently than a lot of these guys.
I got you.
He's kind of compact but pretty muscled up. He's one of those guys that's gotten some of that muscle early.
Yeah. No, that never happened to me. I never got the muscle early nor late. I was anti-muscle.
The anti-muscle?
Yes. All right, so.
Okay, there we go. Because we had empty. We had trips to the right and twins to the left.
We had quads to the right. Or we had trips to the right, twins to the left, and a running back.
Running back, yeah. If they'll let you do that, man, that's awesome. But that's like some Canadian football stuff.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Go ahead, talk about this, Coach Chapman.
Well, they're going to try to sneak the running back. I'm not sure he's supposed to be there, but they get the post right there. And, that ball's pretty much thrown.
It almost looked like maybe the receiver underneath should have sat down earlier to kind of draw attention. Instead, he ran him into the post. He ran everybody into the post.
Yep, sure did. Have we gotten to the end of this? No, okay, they're just changing it up.
Okay.
I saw everybody dapping everybody up. I was like,
That's usually it's usually ensign.
All right, so, I see what it is. They're just rotating. They looks like they're going back in through.
Trying to give everybody a break.
Yeah. And then get everybody, and make sure every quarterback gets the throw. Because you are looking at having to throw, whatever it is, 12 quarterbacks.
Yeah, because you send two of them home.
Yep.
And that still leaves 12.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because 14 minus 2 is 12.
Coach, you are on it today. You must have watched an extra episode of Billy Madison Math yesterday.
I did.
Oh, man.
Looked like they're letting one of the groups go.
I think they're going to let some of the young guys go.
Yeah, but you still, like you said, you have so many quarterbacks you got to get through.
I mean, when I came out here this morning and I saw every one of those quarterbacks on the field, all I could think of was, I wouldn't know what to do if I had that many quarterbacks. I would have to go buy 25 more footballs, and then we would throw routes on there every day in the summer. I would have, 20 receivers.
I said we had to go buy some more receivers.
We had to go, you'd really have to have, if you had 5 quarterbacks, you'd have to have, in our scenario, you'd have to have, 12 receivers, because you'd have to be 4 deep at the slot, both outside receivers. You'd have to be at least 3 deep at both running backs.
Unfortunately, when you have 12 receivers, most of the time you're not 4 deep anywhere. Well, you got 6 of this and 2 of that, and
well, that'd be on me to make sure that ended up being
convert somebody.
4 of this and 4 of that and 4 of that.
Well,
so
you can ask football Santa Claus for.
I can, At one point in time, I was, I didn't know if football Santa Claus, was going to listen, and then he brought us a defensive end and a tackle. And they ended up being pretty good players, and a running back, and a wide receiver, and all at about the same time.
You must have been really good.
No, I will never subscribe to that theory.
You must be living right, Coach Chapman.
Yeah. I'm sure there was somebody that would tell you that that's not the way it is either. Then we say we're doing something right, we're living right, and somebody else would say you're a cheater.
Well, it's all about tomato.
That's right. Viewpoint, perception.
So the tall quarterback there.
Got the post.
Yeah. He held that ball a really long time.
He did. Is that your guy, Coach? You got them orange shoes.
No, that's not him. Where's he at? He might already be gone. He might have been one of the younger guys. Let's see. No, I don't see him right now. I just remember he was the guy that the DB was hanging off of, and he just kept on trucking.
Yep. I was saying the guy that just caught the ball had orange shoes. So.
Yeah, that guy was mugging him, and he just kept on going.
This quarterback right here, man. I was about to say something really intelligent, like he's taller than I've ever been in my whole life. I could stand on a plyometric box and this kid would be taller than me. Oh, please don't do that.
I thought that was getting picked.
I did too. I mean,
but that's a big old tall kid to be in, what, 8th grade probably? Or rising freshman?
He threw that with some conviction, Coach. He wasn't second guessing that throw not one bit.
Well, I'll let you know right now, I've never been convicted. So
you got me on that one, Coach.
Living clean. Living clean.
You got me on that one.
For those of you just now joining us, I'd like to thank all the people helping us out. Thank you to Mount Pisgah for opening up the doors today, letting these young men come and compete. I'd like to thank Atlanta Marriott Perimeter, where the quarterback challenge started. And also like to thank the Phillips QB Academy. Drew Phillips, the head quarterback coach here, putting on this Future 4 National Middle Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase today.
There you go.
Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied.
That's all right, Coach. I can understand.
And a couple other places to watch it. You can go on YouTube, but also, most importantly, Football Hotbed Twitter account. Go ahead and search for that. And then you actually have the opportunity to watch it live now on Facebook. So tune in if you missed something to begin with and you want to watch it.
Ooh.
They just cleared everybody out.
That was a good voice. That was a good voice. Ooh.
That was me.
That was Craig.
That was good. That was good. Good and clear. Good and clear.
I was hoping so.
All right.
That Twitter account would be @footballhotbed. That is the Twitter handle, as they would say.
We had a nice little hiccup between the linemen and the skills, so it's on 2 different streams. So if you want to watch the linemen, you just go back to the second.
Like Island's in the stream?
Oh, this is where we are. So
well done.
This is where we are. So all right.
Oh,
right
man.
Now, like I said last
Well, hey,
night,
at least we're under a tent, kiddos.
Yes,
No,
sir.
there's no doubt, man.
You'd be done, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Throwing the white flag in,
I'd
man.
be protesting if this was not the case.
I'm pretty sure everything would have been overheated. And we're
Oh,
good to
yeah.
go. The nicest thing that I've liked about this is not only that we were able to talk with the offensive line coach that was sponsoring the Lineman Challenge, but we actually had the quarterbacks coach come over. That was something we hadn't had really had a lot of experience with, so gave us a little bit more of an understanding of a lot of what has been happening over the past 2 days here at Mount Pisgah.
So here we go, 5 wide, Coach.
We call that empty.
Throwing the out route. Nice ball.
I don't know why the seams.
No.
I don't know why the seams kept running. The seam over here on the right side, he just kept running.
He's probably a clear, Coach. It's probably just a straight clear out. Try to get you to drop. Take any chance away from getting up underneath that out route.
Well, the nice thing is it's only 89 degrees out here in mid-afternoon.
Oh, so it's
John's Creek.
It's a frosty 89 then.
It
well,
really
it's not
is.
really, and it's not really humid.
It's not.
So,
yes.
Yeah, we learned about humidity yesterday.
Yes, we did. That rain came in, and there's not a single cloud in the sky today.
No.
We needed our lungs needed umbrellas yesterday.
Yes, that is an understatement.
That was a big quarterback.
Get rid of it, homie.
Yeah, I don't like all the hopping and waiting. And he complete that?
He did.
Well, I still think that's a long time to hold that football.
And as a quarterback, I would say nobody came here to hear.
Yeah.
Nobody came here today to hear you yell sack either.
Sack.
You can yell it, buddy. I'm throwing this ball. I paid my money.
There's always that guy at 7-on-7. Sack.
Every time.
Sack.
We lost a
Man,
game.
we just snapped the ball. I was at sack.
We lost a 7-on-7 tournament at Lassiter one time because our kids covered on the last play of the game. We covered, and we were playing Hillgrove. And all we got to do is win this game, and we're going to go on and win the tournament. And the guy did like this, and the quarterback even put both hands down like this, knowing it was a sack. And when they didn't blow the whistle, he just turned around, and our defensive back saw the quarterback drop his hands, and he thought they had signaled sack. So he just started jumping up and down, and the guy threw the ball.
Oh, tip drill.
There it is. That's why you always keep playing. A little athletic ability right there, Coach.
Yes, sir.
But the guy said, he had a 4-second clock to throw, and the guy running the clock said that he was at 4.98 seconds, which means it still was 4 seconds. So he was thinking that you had to get to 5 seconds. Boy, I cannot tell you that.
No, that would not have been a good day.
That was not. Nice hands right there by number 12 coming across there. Nice
Security's
ball.
coming to escort me out.
Nice job right there putting the ball out in front of the receiver, letting him run to it.
Because that's the big thing with 7-on-7 is you don't want to create bad habits.
No, you don't.
Or false security for that quarterback.
One of the things I like about watching what I'm seeing today is the majority of these quarterbacks have a good base and a good understanding of a weight shift when they're throwing the ball. Maybe they are holding it a little bit too long. That kind of goes with this not being the offense that they normally run. And they also are at a camp and they don't want to don't want to throw the ball into something that they might not be quite sure about. But, watch the drops. Watch the balance. Watch the weight shift.
Oh, that was a nice job right there.
Yeah, and he had him open. He was just a little late with the ball. It was a good job by the safety reading that thing and stepping in front.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Don't be late. That's one of the things about holding it. That freaks me out.
Yeah. So, we've kind of gone away from all that stuff, and we're throwing most everything on read now. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
There's some dudes out there now that are looking around like, I just want a cloud.
Hey, man, what time is it? You know, like when you'd be at football practice, you'd be like, "Hey, what time is it, man?" I would always love when the manager had on a watch, or when like somebody was hurt and they had a watch on. I'm like, "Hey, man, what time is it?"
I remember my first day coaching at a place that shall not be named. Went to spring practice, and dude came out there and had a watch on. And I was like, "You got somewhere to go?" He was like, "No, coach, I don't." I was like, "Okay, I was just wondering." And I just kept asking him. He never figured it out. I finally had said, "Look, man, you really want to wear your watch to practice?" He was like, "Well, I just forget to take it off, coach." I was like, "That's about a $250 watch that you're wearing to football practice."
Yeah, that's not a smart thing to do. See, look at that down there, Coach Chapman. I know that folks at home can't see it, but what we're seeing is the other future 4 quarterbacks. They're not throwing right now, and so they're down there playing football.
Yes, they are.
By themselves. You know, kids just getting a chance to come out and play, you know, because everybody's been cooped up.
They have been. I looked out the other day, and we had a basketball goal, coach, and the basketball goal got blown over by the wind, and it landed. And when it did, it broke the backboard.
Nice.
So I took the backboard off, and I have to go get another one, and I rolled it into the backyard. You know, it's got the base with all that stuff in there, and it's still got the rim up because the rim attached to the pole. I looked out there the other day, and my youngest daughter was out there shooting baskets.
Tell you what, if you learn to shoot without a backboard, you're gonna be pretty good.
And she was doing pretty good. I got a real kick out of it. All right, so we're gonna be right here. We got a little sprint game right here, coach.
Oh, that was a good ball.
It was.
Well, like the defense might have come up with that one.
It's hard to tell when everybody's looks the exact same.
Yeah.
The color scheme. I guess they're doing. My glasses are so bad, coach. I couldn't tell you what's going on right now.
Well, I tell you, we're at the Football Hotbed National Middle School Showcase. That
is absolutely true.
If you're having one of those senior moments, Coach Chapman, I understand.
Yeah, you're the one that pointed out how gray my beard has gotten.
Yeah, I think those years of head coaching have caught up with you.
Oh man, one thing, I don't know if it's being a head coach or having 3 daughters.
I'll tell you what, I had a dark mane of hair when I started this.
Nice job. Oh. Good
You
job
know,
of dropping it off to the back.
You know, so many people just don't cover the flats. Like, that's one of the things we see all the time. So many people are willing to give up the flat route. And it's like, to me, the flat route is just like stealing.
And if you can, you know, here's the beautiful thing about it. We've been blessed enough in our time where we've had really, really good running backs. And some of them have been really, really, really physical. And, you know, corners do not like to get run over.
No.
They don't want anything to do with that. And
We had a 250-pound fullback score an 80-yard touchdown on a screen because nobody wanted to tackle him.
That's exactly what happened. It was hilarious, too. It was like people actively avoided him. Like, you know, not today.
Because once he got rolling, buddy, that whole object in motion tends to stay in motion thing.
That was the coldest I've ever been in my life, too, after that game.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. Oh, man. I guess they went out and up right there. What do you call that, a chair route?
Yeah, and he was wide open. Nice throw. That was a good throw in the middle right there, though. He put it right on the receiver, and the coverage was excellent. So if you're looking for something, you know, to talk about right there, that's an attaboy for both sides.
I wonder how much hotter those black caps are making it right now.
I have no idea. I don't even want to think about it. You know, one of the reasons why I woke up so early yesterday and you know, shaved my head, so you know, it would just be, you know, my skin between, you know, me and the heavens. No more hair.
the middle was open early.
I think they tried to run the little. I think I don't think it got there in time, but they tried to run a corner route off of those 2 in-breaking routes. Had a chance to be open, it seemed like.
You doing all right, Bo? All right, man. Want to take a quick chance to thank Phillips QB Academy, as well as Atlanta Marriott Perimeter and Mount Pisgah. There we go.
Don't worry, I already screwed it up too.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where I'm pretty sure I'm suffering from heat exhaustion. And I'm sitting in a chair watching other people do stuff. Give you a little idea what kind of shape I'm in. Nicely done right there. Ended up throwing it into traffic, though.
Unfortunately, if he would have stayed front side right there, he had a wide open throw into the end zone for a touchdown. But you don't know. They may have told him to throw that, roll this way, and throw it back over here.
Yeah. Just see if he can do it.
Let's see if we can get everybody involved.
You know, and even as coaches, you know, we talk about kids force and things all the time. We've all been guilty at some point in our lives of trying to force something that wasn't there because we're trying to get somebody the ball. You know,
that's absolutely true.
You know, and that's just one of those lessons you have to learn.
I was very lucky last year. Every time I wanted to get someone that didn't get a lot of reps the ball, I was able to throw it to them. There was only one person on the field that I couldn't get. And I tried, but you know, we had one guy that ended up without a catch. That was a receiver. We didn't, not from the lack of throwing it to him. We had just one guy that just every time one time it got knocked down, and one time it was overthrown. One time it was a little bit short, and so but we try to keep everybody involved as much as we can.
Oh man, there's a crowd right there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's no telling somebody. There was some mix-up in the routes right there for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, for those of you just joining us, we're here at Mount Pisgah Athletic Fields in beautiful Johns Creek, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
It's a lovely day. It's a frosty 89.
A frosty 89.
But at least we're not living in Arizona, where they said, I heard on the news today, they're going to hit, a little collision there. They're going to hit a new high of 116 today.
116, huh?
Yeah, that's one of those. I think he took a blow to the. Oh no, it wasn't his solar plexus. No, that was a rabbit punch
to the nether regions, coach.
To the nether regions, and that's unpleasant. And of course, the protection for those areas is kind of falling out of vogue. So.
Yes, it has. I can never get that happening to me in basketball practice, and a certain basketball coach we had telling me to squat down and bounce up and down. I was like, no, I'm just going to lay here and be miserable.
Yeah, I'm going to wallow for a second.
I refuse to do this. You're not going to have me the laughing stock of everybody in this gym. Just watch me scream and lay on the floor.
It's inevitable that stuff like that's going to happen when you're playing. Like you're almost guaranteed it's going to happen every once in a while. And when I was wrestling, they always bounced us. That's what they did. They grab you by under your armpits and bounce you.
Oh, nice job.
Oh man! Oh, come on. That was a good ball. It was there. It just couldn't hang on.
Uh-oh.
Well, like somebody has an ankle.
I hope that's all that is.
Well, anytime you walk out on the field, you risk injury. That's just, that's the reality.
I'm just saying it looked like his shoe broke, Coach.
Uh-oh. We've seen quite a few practice blowouts. That's why we keep duct tape.
I think that's what happened.
Well, it's just, the kids are hard on their stuff. And behind him.
Yep. These are some complicated route combos right here, Coach.
They are, and especially for it to be such a young group. And one of the things I think about is, I don't see a whole lot of middle school football anymore, other than what occurs in my own school. And so, I don't know if a lot of people have gone away from a running game.
Coach, I can tell you the last time I saw a middle school football game was 2000. I mean, outside of our middle school, which is a little bit different scenario. But the last time I saw a middle school football game was in 2016, and both.
Oh, nicely done.
Nice throw, nice catch. But the last time I saw it was 2016, and both.
There you go. We're coming back to it right here.
So you're gonna get
Okay, and it was the guy wheeling down the sideline.
Yeah, he
got lost in the crowd. He got lost in the shuffle right there.
He had the post from the outside.
Nice ball.
It was really nice. But
that was a great job right there. But it's been a great day
yes,
here.
Yes, it has been. If you want to look at anything in regards to this football hotbed showcase, go to Twitter at football hotbed, hashtag hotbed world. All right.
And gentlemen, thank y'all so much, Adam and Craig. Y'all done a great job.
My pleasure, sir.
Across the board, it's been a fun 2-day experience with you, gentlemen. Everybody else, take care, be safe out there. Let's get ready for a wonderful fall. I'm Bo McMichael with Adam Collins and Craig Chapman. This has been Football Hotbed. Take care.